Hey, Tim Sykes here. Time for a pretty in-depth video lesson. You know, I do a lot of trades, but I don't always have time to really dig into the details. And as I say, you know, the most money that you make will come in the smallest details. So you really got to get to the nitty-gritty. You really got to get into the nuances. I just happened to be in studio right after my annual conference. Here's a little video. You know, thank you to the nearly 500 people who came in person. It was amazing seeing you, amazing meeting many of you. I think we had students from over like 20 or 22 countries. It's just amazing. You know, I love my job. I love, you know, even coming to the studio and filming videos like this. We're filming in the studio. I'm showing videos that I took in person. I just love my job, and I'm grateful for all the opportunity. I'm even grateful for the fakes and the scammers in this industry because they make me look better. I just have to be real with you. You know, those of you who did come to the conference, you know what this laptop throw was all about. If you didn't come to the conference, I'll do a separate video explaining what this is all about. It's just funny to see people's reactions to that. And I think there's going to be some good lessons there. But in this video, I want to talk about this trade on LIFW. You know, really, really good trade for me. Not a huge trade by any means, roughly $400. And I said this at the conference, like this was like a cute trade, but this is why I teach. This is what I think any single one of you watching can do, because I didn't buy it at the bottom. I didn't sell it at the top. I wasn't even frankly prepared for this. This was right as the conference was beginning. I was late to my own conference. I apologize to my whole team. But this was a great trade. And as I always say, I am not a full-time trader. I am a retired trader who comes out of retirement when there's a play that is so good I would feel guilty missing it. And this exemplifies that statement because I'm literally running the shower, getting ready to go down to the conference. My teammates are like texting me like, where are you? We got to do a sound check. And I was like, I'm in this trade. And it was not ideal timing at all. But again, the best trades will pop up. The question is, will you be prepared to capitalize? And that's why I want to make this video. Some of you did capitalize, congrats. Some of you didn't. If you actually came to the conference, or if you watch enough of my video lessons, you have learned from not just me, but my millionaire students too. You know that my millionaire students are self-sufficient. That is my goal for all of you, okay? I'll post a link just below this video to my Millionaire Challenge. That is the single best way to learn from me. I cannot encourage you enough to take your education seriously. Never follow alerts from anybody. Learn. Why is Tim Sykes, for example, I'm referring to myself in the third person, not because I'm cocky, just because I want you to think this way. Why am I doing this trade? Why am I buying it? Why is my position size this? Why am I selling it? And once you start to see how I trade and you see how my millionaire students trade, you can start to build that into your own trading process. And I think probably the best lesson from the conference is that it's all about your process. And I'll have other videos, you know, with lessons from the speakers. You know, we had over a dozen millionaire traders speaking and just talking about their experiences. But trades like this don't look like anything great from the outside, but they are ideal. So what happened? Well, I actually filmed, this is what's really interesting. I knew that this was a good trade right as I made it. And even though I was late while making this trade, I even made a video lesson, which we're gonna insert here, where I'm gonna explain why I bought this stock, you know, why Stocks to Trade Breaking News is so key. So check out this video that I made as I'm getting yelled at by my team and I'm late to my own conference. Good morning, Tim Sykes here. Quick video lesson before I have to go to the conference room. This is my once a year annual conference, and a trade just popped up. And you'll notice this if you follow me long enough. Sometimes the best trades happen just randomly. It's a question of whether or not you're going to be prepared to capitalize. And I just locked in roughly $400, nothing huge at all. But frankly, it could have been more. Frankly, I should still be in this stock. This is a first Green Day play. Stock keeps spiking. You know, it's already another, I guess my profits would be double right now. So I'd be up like 700 or 800. It's taking out new highs as I'm filming this. I have to get going. This is going to be a quick video lesson. But This is an insider buy. The CEO just bought like, what was it, 500,000 shares? Stocks to Trade Breaking News alerted it. Every single one of you should be using Stocks to Trade Breaking News. You're trading random plays with random price action. You're going to get random results. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to lose like 90% of traders in this industry do. If you trade random stocks, you will get random results. If you trade solid setups, you will get solid results. That's the difference, okay? That's literally the difference. And I have to go. I probably should be downstairs right now. I'm sorry to my team who are freaking out. They're all texting me. They're like, where are you? But I have to give you this real-time lesson because this stock keeps going. And I have to keep saying it in the chat room too. LIFW now 150. If you are not watching this play or trading it, you are missing out. And I'll go into it in detail at my conference. But this is literally the most perfect play. Now 155, I'm really sad that I have to go. I even said this when I sold. I said, just in case you think that this is like revisionist history, like, oh yeah, it's always 2020 in hindsight. I said, I would give it more time, but have to go to my conference now. And I literally have to go to my conference now. I shouldn't even be making this video lesson, but it is so damn important, okay? This is not random. This is not a junk setup. This is not a random setup. This is a beautiful setup because of the insider buy. Stock to Trade Breaking News alerted it. This is a pretty big buy, 467,000 shares at $1.07. And this is the beauty of penny stocks. The news came out right here. As you can see, there was an immediate spike. People automatically saw that it was good. I probably would be dip buying it here, by the way, too, at 140-ish. But I can't. I really have to go. This is my life. This is what I've been doing for a quarter of a freaking century. This is part of the reason why I got into teaching, because I thought that if I could teach enough people, these patterns and opportunities would disappear and I wouldn't be like kind of a slave to them anymore. I am still a slave to them. I'm teaching a lot of people, but the vast majority of you aren't even capitalizing. The news was right here. And I know this is quick. Like this is 10:07 a.m. and the high was just at 10:35. So you have like 20, 30 minutes. Woo! I would be so dip buying this right now, but I definitely can't. My team is like getting so pissed at me. Ever since I started this video lesson, I have like 4 text messages. I'm sorry to the team, but this is a solid trade. Insider buy. Big buy, not like a little like 10,000 shares or 20,000 shares, but actually like a meaningful buy on a former runner, okay? This is a former runner. This has spiked up big in the past. And this is why I teach. This is what I want you to see. Former runners can run again with the right news, with the catalyst. By the way, the NASDAQ is dropping. As I predicted, as I warned, we very well might have a crash today. We're cracking support. Whether it's Black Thursday, Black Friday, I don't care. There's still opportunities if you're prepared. This literally is the worst timing for a trade for me right now. I guess it could be worse in like 20 minutes if I was on stage and I would have to like shut down my presentation and focus on this. But this is trading, and this is the beauty of penny stocking. First green day with a news catalyst, all thanks to Stocks to Trade Breaking News. So I'll link Stocks to Trade Breaking News. I say it every single day. My biggest loss in years was on a trade when I did not use Stocks to Trade Breaking News. So there's a testimonial too on my own testimonial when I don't even use the, tool that I tell you to use. I lost big, and this tool could have saved me the 27 grand from that stupid loss earlier this year. But little trades like this. Okay, I don't know what LIFW does. Oh, I'm just getting another text. I know, I'm sorry. I'm coming down, but this is trading, okay? Are you prepared? First green day with a news catalyst. All I did was, it's still higher from where I sold. It's literally 20 cents off its highs, and it's still higher from where I sold. So in case you think that my trading is best case scenario, this is not best case scenario. This is me doing the trade because I have to, because I saw the opportunity. First green day, former runner, breaking news, already spiked a little, but could easily spike more. This is what I'm going to say. During the conference is what I teach. Come out of retirement as a trader. Think of yourself as a retired trader, but come out of retirement when there's a play that is so good you would feel guilty missing it. That describes this play. I see a lot of people trading, random plays like MULN. Okay, they had some positive news and this keeps going. Props to you if you saw that. Stocks to Trade Breaking News alerted this one too. I missed this one. Also trading PXMD, which was a nice morning spiker. But for me, I really like, this multi-day chart. It's not just like a random spiker. Like I said, it's a former multi-day runner and it's all the way down, like really beaten down. And this CEO buying it, gives a lot of credibility to this stock. So, we'll see what it does. But for me, the play is already over. I really have to get going. Be ready to capitalize whenever you can. Okay? Recognize that. These kinds of plays happen. And most people are unprepared. Most people make excuses. If you look at my trading, I'm not like crushing it like hugely this year. But if you look at my trading, it's a lot of small wins adding up. Now over 57K on the year to date. If you look at, I don't even know what I'm going to show. My brain is all over the place. So I got to get going. Use Stocks to Trade Breaking News. I'll talk to you soon. Leave a comment below if you caught it, if you watched it. How crazy is that, right? I legit had like the shower running and like I was like, should I get in the shower? Should I do this trade? I knew I would feel guilty missing it. And I didn't know that it was going to spike all the way, to the 160s. And now actually after 2 trading days that it got all the way up to nearly 180. I didn't know that this was going to be like probably the single most consistent stock in the entire markets. Mind you, the NASDAQ, is gradually downtrending, which is crazy. Like we're crashing through multi-month support. The S&P 500 is crashing through multi-month support. The Dow is crashing through multi-month support. And this little piece of crap company, it doesn't look like much in the chart because it was such a big runner a few weeks ago, but it's put up a nice little 50% gain since this news. So how did I know this news mattered? As I just talked about with the video that I did right after I made the trade, former runner, big insider buy from the CEO on a company left for kind of dead, being priced basically as like a bankrupt company. Big vote of confidence from the CEO himself. An initial spike in reaction to the news, but the news is not a press release. This is the beauty of Stocks to Trade Breaking News. They don't just alert press releases like a newswire. They also alert SEC filings. And a lot of these SEC filings go under the radar. Not everyone is meticulous. That creates an informational inefficiency. And boom, you have a 50% run up in a few hours. Or I guess it was like a 44% run up in the first few hours, but then like a 50% plus run up over 2 trading days. That's the formula. Let's get into the nitty gritty though. Every single one of you, I'll repeat myself, I don't care. Every single one of you should be using Stocks to Trade Breaking News. It is the single biggest reason why I had my 2 multi-million-dollar years in 2020 and 2021. I've been trading for a quarter of a century, remember? I never made over $1 million. Stocks to Trade Breaking News, and obviously the market helped. But this tool is what alerts me. This tool is a game changer. My biggest loss over the past decade was when I personally didn't even use this tool, if that's not a testimonial enough. But let's talk about this because they also alert a lot of plays which I don't buy. So let's use this tool. This is a trader checklist calculator. And for those of you who've seen my trader checklist guide, I'll link it below this video too. Every single one of you should watch it. Came up with this prepare, and we just go over 7 indicators that I think about before I risk my hard-earned money on any trade. And the reason why this calculator has 2 separate windows is because I think about what is this stock valued at when I'm thinking about trading it. And then also, if I do enter the trade, what is the value as I'm thinking about exiting? You'll see it changes. And there's a total value of the potential trade. If you add up all these indicators and the total value is over 70, then theoretically it's a good trade. It's not an exact science. You can have a high ranking, SSS, this is called the Sykes sliding scale. You can have a high number and maybe for whatever reason it doesn't play out, but at least it gets you thinking, about the 7 indicators ahead of time. I should also mention, if you are in the trading challenge, we now have the SSS alerts. My team and I are alerting different plays near the open that have solid SSS scores, and those get alerted to you too, just to help you learn. If you are in the challenge, send an email to admin@timothysykes.com and my team will hook you up with these SSS alerts. Again, if you're not in the challenge, get in the damn challenge. We're gonna keep getting more and more cool new tools and just ways that you can learn. So I think it's great. Anyways, LIFW, when I was thinking about buying it, mind you, the stock had already spiked, as you saw in that video that I recorded. It already spiked from basically 107 to like 116, 117 as I'm watching it. So it's already up a little bit, which always brings about a little risk. But what is the pattern in price? It's around $1 a share, which I love. It's a probable first green day, which I even said as I alerted. I said I can't ignore this big insider buy, former runner, probable first green day. I love probable first green day plays, okay? Former runners can run again, and it's only the first day. So it's not like the second day or third day. The price is right, the pattern is right. This is a 20 out of 20. Risk reward, when I finally got executed, it was already spiking a little bit, 119. Remember, the CEO bought the stock at 107. It's probably not going to go back to 107, but theoretically it could go back down to like 115. This little spike could fail for whatever reason. So call it, I'm risking losing like 5 cents a share. But I thought that it could go up even more. I thought it could go to the 130s or 140s. If you look, and some people say, well, how do you try to come up with like what it can go up to? If you look at it right, in here, this was the spike. It got up to the 160s, actually got up to the 170s. But you can see right in here, there's resistance at 175 going back here. The former support becomes resistance on the way up. But even before 175, this kind of sideways break right here is at 150. And then there's another break right here at like 140. So I thought it could get above this 140 level and maybe have some resistance here at 150. I didn't know it was going to go to the 160s or 170s, so I underestimated it. But let's say I thought it could go up to 145. That would be roughly 25 cents a share above where I bought it. And if I'm risking losing 5 cents a share, that's 5-to-1 risk reward. 25 cents of upside, 5 cents of downside. In reality, it turned out that there was 0 downside and like 60 cents a share of upside. So I didn't get the risk reward right in my expectations. But again, 5-to-1 risk reward is fantastic, 20 out of 20. Ease of entry and exit. Understand I'm only taking 3,000 shares, so I'm kind of rushed. I'm not in an ideal situation. I could have bought 5,000 shares. I could have bought 10,000 shares. I don't know if I could have bought 20,000 shares, but I definitely could have scaled up. But with 3,000 shares, I can get in and out like that. It's very easy. So for me, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. And we're going to keep going. I really want to dig into the details on this. So this video is going to be longer. I encourage you to watch the entire thing. Think about every single indicator. Past performance, history of spiking. Remember, LIFW recently spiked up big here, but again, that wasn't even the only spike. If you go back, this was a multi-day, multi-week spiker that went from the 1s up to the 7s. This is one of the biggest runners. So one of the biggest former runners is now respiking on a first green day with a CEO legitimizer insider buy. I mean, like I said, I could not ignore this, even though I have 500 people waiting for me downstairs in the casino. What is the past performance history of spiking? 10 out of 10. What time is it? Personal schedule. So this one I'm going to have to dock because it's the right time of day for, we're seeing these morning spikers. It's actually a little later because it's like 10 a.m. I prefer like right near the open. But again, the insider, buying news just came out, so it's breaking news. Personal schedule, this is terrible. This is legit the worst time possible. So what time of day is it to judge? Like, it's pretty good. It's not great. But again, breaking news, it doesn't really matter because the news is what matters, not the time of day. If you judge, what time of day is it and personal schedule together, and let's say they're both perfect, it would be a 20. But what time of day is it? I'd probably give this like 7 out of 10. And personal schedule, I'll give it like a 0 out of 10 because it's really not ideal for my own personal time. So I'll give this a 7 out of 20. I got a docket points there. Reason catalyst, insider buying isn't usually that great, but this is a big insider buy. Not all insider buys or sales are created equal. When a company is being left for dead, priced for dead, and the CEO spends $500,000 of their own money, that's a big catalyst. So I'll give this a 9 out of 10. And then market environment, the NASDAQ is dropping, the market is dropping, not an ideal situation. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. But like I said, the total value of the trade is over 70, so it's something I cannot ignore. And really the only things that are, really docked is the market environment and my personal schedule. If my personal schedule had been clear, this would not just be a 7 out of 20, this would be a 17 out of 20. So really this is an 89 minus the fact that I'm giving this conference. You don't get total values of potential trades at 90 very often. Okay, I do have to dock it because of my personal schedule, but whether it's a 79 because of my schedule or an 89 if I didn't have a conference, this is a great trade setup. Everything, or mostly everything other than really the market, is heading in the right direction. But let's, this is when I bought it at 119. Let's see when I'm at 133. So same pattern, same price. It's a morning spiker. It's up a little bit, so it's not a 20 out of 20 anymore because now it's gone up and the question is, should I take profits or not? So I'll give it an 18 out of 20. Risk reward, now this is going to be a big change. Remember, I didn't know it was going to go to the 160s or the 170s. I thought it could only get to the 140s. So let's say if it can get to 140, 145, there's really only like 10 or 12 cents a share of upside versus what if it comes back down? What if it comes back down to my entry to 119? Now there's 14 cents of downside and only 12 cents of upside. Again, with my own expectation that it can get to 145. That's a bad risk reward. There's more risk, 14 cents of downside versus only 12 cents of upside. So this goes from a 20 out of 20 now to like a 3 out of 20. It's riskier for me to hold it. Ease of entry and exit, same, because it's the same stock. I have 3,000 shares, it's easy. Same, past performance history of spiking. What time is it? Personal schedule. Now this is really where I have to dock it, because before I just said, okay, it's a little later in the day than I like, but I still have like a little time. Now I have negative time. And this is a big important thing for you guys. If you have family, if you have friends, if you have a job, if you have something where you can't get out of, you physically cannot be there to trade, you really have to take that into account. Worst case scenario, I could go down to my conference, like holding the laptop open, showing like what a mess I am when I'm in a trade and I'm hyper focused on the trade. I could have done that and come into the conference like that, but that's really not a good look. I mean, this is a lot of people who have never met me. The conference is, yes, it's a live trading conference, but at the same time, should you even learn from me? There's a lot of fakes in this industry. There's a lot of, not even necessarily fakes, but just people where they're teaching, but their strategy isn't replicable. The beautiful thing about what I teach, and this trade proves it, this is so replicable. But I do need to focus on my conference. I really shouldn't be trading, so I'm going to change this from a 7 to like a 3. I could theoretically do it. It's not a 0, but it's really not comfortable. Reason catalyst is the same, and then the market environment is the same. But notice how it's dropped from a 79 to a 56 now, only because the risk is so much greater, and also remember, I have a conference that I need to get to. Look at all these people. This was just minutes after I exited the trade. And again, this, SSS breakdown, this is me thinking that it can only get to $1.45. So you don't know exactly what it's going to do. Like in hindsight, I mean, this could have gone to 170, but I guess not till like day 2. I wouldn't have had that much patience. I mean, best case scenario, I wouldn't have held through this spike and then the drop and then the respike to new highs. Best case scenario, I'm out at 150, 154. I don't think I could hold it much longer than that. So I'm glad I took the trade. It's okay that I sold too soon. It's funny that it happened right during the conference, but this is exactly why you need Stocks to Trade breaking news. This is exactly why my strategy is replicable. This is why I love teaching. This is why I love trading. Like I said, I only had 3,000 shares, but this is something where you could have had 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 shares. I mean, the thing traded, 15 million shares on the day. It's a slippery slope when the volume isn't really there, but the volume is there, the breaking news is there, and then you just have to judge. Understand when, people rip on me like saying, oh, you're a multimillionaire trading small, or like, we have a new disclaimer in case you don't know. Some of my haters point this out where it's like my average trading student makes like $50. We did some math. It's good to trade small. And if you listen to a lot of what my millionaire students say, they traded small in the beginning too. If you came to the conference or if you listened to it online, you know that Jack Kellogg might be over 12 million now, but early on in his career, he's plus or minus a few $100s or a few $1,000s even after 18 months doing this. You need to learn from trades like this, small trades piled up over and over again so that you can hone your own process and optimize your own process. This trader checklist calculator is very basic stuff, but again, it's good to think about this. And if you think about trades this way before you risk your hard-earned money, it only increases your odds. And you learn from it, If I'm doing this trade again, let's say another big insider buy pops up next week or something similar on a similar play in similar price action, I might give it more time based on the lessons I learned from this one. Every single trade doesn't just potentially grow your brokerage account, it also potentially grows your knowledge account. Remember, you have two accounts. You got to grow your knowledge account first before you can really grow your brokerage account. So outsiders will just see a little $400 trade. They'll just be like, blah, blah, blah. I see a really perfect example of why I teach, of why I trade, and why I'm so proud of the trader checklist, why I'm so proud of Stocks to Trade Breaking News, why I'm so confident in the opportunity for you, even if the overall market is weak. That's what's going on right now. Great trades like this do pop up every now and then. The question is, will you be ready to capitalize? Leave a comment below this video. Let me know if this video helped you. Let me know if you saw LIFW in real time or if you saw it after the fact. But these are the kinds of plays that you should be focused on again and again and again. You choose your size. You choose your preparation level. I can't encourage you enough to use Stocks to Trade Breaking News every single day. It's the only place that alerts opportunities like this. Learn it, use it, love it. Don't ignore it. These new tools, this new kind of thinking that I'm trying to teach you, this can change your life over time. All of my millionaire students have learned from trades like this. And not just millionaire students. As some people say, oh, Tim, you have thousands of students, only 30 or so millionaire students. There's also a lot of students who have made 6 figures and 5 figures. It takes a while, especially to learn this stuff. Sometimes you're going to miss it. Sometimes you're going to go too big. Sometimes you're going to go too small. Life gets in the way. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of things going on around the world and in your life. These plays will keep popping up in good markets and bad markets, some with more volume, some with more upside. But this is the kind of informational inefficiency that happens with these penny stocks. So let anybody hate on penny stocks, let anybody hate on me. I asked the audience, this is why I also love seeing everyone in person, because I get to hear your stories, we communicate. I asked the audience, I was like, how many of your friends and family think that I'm a scam, or penny stocks are a scam, or day trading is a scam? And roughly half of the audience raised their hands. So I know you have some negative people in your life, whether friends or family. They're trying to look out for you. Most penny stocks are scams. Most people who teach online are scams. I am not. I am very proud to be real in an industry full of frauds. I am very proud to have a very replicable strategy. I will testify on my honor, on my oath. My family is involved. I'm friends with a lot of my top students. We travel together. This is why I love my job. This is why I want more dedicated students. This is why I'm so damn proud. I've been speaking at my conference for 2 days. I lost my voice. I came in here, chugged some energy drinks, filming this so that you understand this is the kind of opportunity that will happen again and again and again. And I will say it loud and clear. I will say it until my dying breath. These are the kinds of trades that you can do with a small account. Most people with small accounts only want to trade with a big account. You don't realize that you have a lot of opportunity with a small account. You can't buy 1 million shares of this, But you can certainly buy a few thousand shares and make a few $100s or a few $1,000s. Trades like this add up. Remember, I've made over $7.5 million. My average trading profit is roughly $1,500. If I had held this longer, it would have been $1,500. But again, I had my conference. So long story short, remember this trade. There will be others like it. Learn it, live it, love it. Use stocks to trade breaking news. Leave a comment below. I gotta get some sleep. I'm out of here.